Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the House of Swing, Jazz at Lincoln Center here in New York City. Recently, drummer, composer, and band leader Rudy Royston played brand new music from his brand new album, Day, at the famed Jazz Gallery here in New York City. Now, Rudy is an accomplished leader as well as a sideman who's played with some very important stalwarts of jazz, including the great J.D. Allen, the great Dave Douglas, and the legendary Bill Frisell. Tonight I had a chance to sit down with him at his official record release performance for his new album, Day, and we had a chance to sit down and talk about why it took so long for him to come out with his new album, as well as reflect on some of his important musical and drumming influences, and also sit down and talk about why he is an intricate part of some very important jazz ensembles. Brother, I am just elated to be sitting in your company, man. I have followed you through many musicians who I've interviewed over the years. You've appeared miraculously in their sets, but just in presence, man. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good right now. I'm tired a little bit, working hard, but feeling good.
Tonight is the official record release of Day.
Yeah.
Tell my viewers what this project's about.
And this project is music that is formed from a typical day during the quarantine. So, a typical shape of my emotions that started to come into focus over the quarantine period. So I didn't want to write a quarantine record, but this music just sort of came out of that. So I had to write, true to what I was feeling. So yeah, I just made some music, that was paying a homage and tribute to those emotions and to celebrate them, not to, it was medicinal. So yeah, it's good.
Where were you during this whole COVID-19 thing?
I was shut in my place by myself. My kids would come over, 2 or 3 days a week. They would come over during the evenings, some evenings. But I was basically alone during the whole quarantine in my home. So yeah, that's why I was so sensitive to these emotions, because it was just me there, so I could see my typical pattern. I started to predict it. So I knew at 6 o'clock, you're going to feel this way. So be ready for it. Because I usually get a little down, so I watch the news or something. But yeah, it was just me. Walking in circles.
What got you through it? I know I spoke to a lot of musicians during COVID and coming out of COVID, and a lot of people had different takes on what they did to kind of keep them sane. What were some of the things that you did?
I mean, my kids really kept me sane, because they would come over and break me out of that monotony, and we just get in the car and drive somewhere and get lost. We just spent some time together, and have some dinner together. So they really helped me out. A lot of meditation, a lot of prayer helped me out. Just getting into a place of hope. Like, this is not always things are gonna get better. Hopefully, But yeah, that helped me out a lot too. And just being able to maintain some kind of, because music was hard for me, because I like to play music for others, but so I don't really need it for me. But it helped me to sort of learn to play a little bit for myself. Give myself a little bit of the music and learn to entertain and enjoy that. That's why this record sort of came out of that kind of thing. Yeah.
Rudy, you've played with and continue to play with a lot of people, and you being your own leader, how do you find the time to segue to write your music, put your band together, and then also be a leader? How do you have time for that?
Ooh, that's tough because I haven't done very well at that lately. I've just been, I've been doing a lot of other people's projects, but my own projects, it comes in spurts. Like when I get inspired by something, then my music comes. Then everything else shuts off. Then I just get into a world of just, where 6 months or whatever it is, where I'm just going to just write this music and just be, or germinate it, get it going, and then, and that happens when I'm inspired by an idea. Then it's easy for me to get into that place for the music. For the leader, that's just hard. That's just like, we think of putting together tours and stuff. That's just hard work. But that's the same thing. Like if I get into a role with it, like if I get something going, then I can get into that world and just go with it. But it can be tough. You know what I mean? But and I'm always thinking of music. So like now, I'm in a different place, but I still have what I want to do next in my thoughts. You know what I mean? So as a leader, or as a picking what I want to do, or picking the musicians, I'm kind of doing that now. Like I played a little bit with Matt Mitchell the other day, and I'm like, that's the thing I want to do. You know what I mean? So I'm picking them, and I'm just in the middle of another thing right now, and life is in the middle of another thing right now. But the music is still going in me. Like I already know what I'm going to do next.
One of the things that I can honestly say about you're in a very good space, because when guys like JD and guys like Bill and Dave command that you be in their presence, that speaks volumes, man, because they trust you with their musical instinct. But two, it's just there's a groove in the pocket that you give these musicians that you accompany. How do you attribute that?
Man, that's probably just experience. I've sort of learned more what to and what not to play. I'm still learning it, you know what I mean? But what is most effective for the music? I've kind of learned a little bit of that, coming out of myself and just doing what I want to do, and actually just playing what is there for the music. You know what I mean? What the music is asking to play. I think I don't know why people like me, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just playing drums, but I think that's what I'm doing.
You're an overall nice guy. Everyone has nothing but nice things to say about you. And then two, I just noticed that you bring a very different energy with these different musicians. Is that part of the drummer? Is that the percussive nature of what you're supposed to do in that ensemble?
Yeah, because I wanted to have my vibe. Like, hopefully when I'm playing, I want to bring that sense of centeredness or calm, you know what I mean? And then enjoy the music, you know what I mean? But I really don't want to be around stuff that's not like that, because it makes me too frantic, you know what I mean? So I don't know, but hopefully that vibe is, I want my music to always have that vibe, that it feels like it's serving people, that it's for people, you know what I mean? I get something out of it because I'm playing, so I'm cool. There's some sticks in there, I'm happy. But I want to make sure that people listening get something out of it, some inspiration or some encouragement, something good. Or, however it helps them, in whatever way. I'm good with that.
As we sit here, I want to talk about one of our great elders who I got to go see him. I saw him when I found out that he was in rehab for his leg, but I want to talk about the great Victor Lewis. He was one of your instructors and mentors when you were at Rutgers. Victor, I always held Victor as him being in the last great Stan Getz group. Him, Rufus Reed, and Kenny Barron. But he also, Dexter Gordon, a lot of heavyweights that he's played with. And he's a guy, I believe, in the jazz world that doesn't get the recognition that he really should get. Tell me about the first time you met Victor and what Victor means to you and what he means to jazz music.
I mean, what he means to jazz music is, I agree that I think he's just completely underrated. You know what I mean? The musicianship that he brings, the groove that he brings, the vibe that he brings towards every musician band that he plays with. He's with Bobby Watson. Like the way, the character that he brings to the music. That's what I mean. Like it's always Victor, no matter who he's playing with, and he brings a sense of calm and groove to all of the music that he plays. I don't know how he does that, but when I first met him, this is why I like Victor. Like I first met Victor, I had just moved here. I had like a 6-month-old daughter, 2-year-old son. You know what I mean? I didn't have any money. I was going to Rutgers for grad school. And so I moved here from Colorado, brought my family with me. And then I went into a lesson with Victor, and I was like, all right, man, so what you want to work on? First thing he said to me is, man, how's your family? Like, we didn't even talk about music. The first lesson, he talked to me like I was a 36-year-old man at the time with a family. Like, he addressed that part of me and said, okay, the first thing you need to make sure you do is make sure you play with a singer. Make sure you have a singer that you play with. Like, he was looking after my welfare, not trying to tell me what to play or sing. I want to tell you how to live this, make a living, and take care of your family. That's Victor. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking. We talked about music after that, but it was a different kind of. He wasn't giving me lessons of exercises to work on. He's giving me things to play in the real world that I'm playing now. He's like, well, you're playing with Ralph Bowen tomorrow, so what I mean. Let's hear what you're going to do with that, and see how some good ways that you can develop that music. You know what I'm saying? So he addressed me where I was and with what I needed help most with. That made me a better musician.
Rudiments are always part of, any kind of DNA. And your rudiments start from church, Colorado. What was it about the church that helped you kind of decide your groove?
Because the church is it's all there's a certain swing in the church. You know what I mean? Gospel music is swinging in the way that jazz swings, and there's a certain groove to it, and there's a certain sensibility to it. Because you're in a Pentecostal church, you playing. There's an organist, and there's 1,000 people who are musicians out there. You know what I mean? Who aren't, but this lady might just start singing. This man might just start singing 2 different keys, 2 different places in the song. You know what I mean? And then the preacher's preaching and expecting you to back him up. So it's just like that attentiveness to everything that was going on, you know what I mean? And that feeling what was moving over here and feeling what's moving over there and following in that and learning how to shape that with the tones that you have and the sounds that you have. You know what I mean? The groove, I just got that just from, playing all the gospel music that I played in church. And some rap and some hip hop, that all developed the groove thing. I played a lot of music, but those were the roots of it all. But yeah, just that sort of, sensibility of the environment and how things are happening and moving in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of gave me the feel that I come from. You know what I mean? Like I want stuff to be moving, you know what I mean? I want to feel something happening, even if it doesn't feel like I'm doing that, you know what I mean? I want to play, and I may do this, something that I'm doing because it's like I want to move you, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's sort of an impact. I think I got that from the church, and like I said, the group, it's just swing. I would be at church playing sometime, and I'd be like, if I just start doing this, I'm swinging. You know what I mean? If I just stop here and go here and do hi-hat on 2 and 4, I'm swinging.
Todd Barkin told me something when I first moved to New York. He said, Brian, if your feet ain't tapping and your head ain't moving, then this music ain't swinging. And I get it, man. I really get it. That's part of Black American music, the experience through church by way of the blues. Because there's no gospel without the blues. And tell my viewers what you think is going to have to happen now to appreciate this art now, besides education.
You know what? just truth. I mean, just accept. Just it's truth and it's acceptance for those of us playing and for those of us listening. If you're playing the music, just be true to what you're playing. Be truthful. Be truthful to your heart, to what you feel. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna swing, then don't. How do I say? I want to say it to but don't be pretentious. You know what I mean? Just mean what you play, then play what you mean. And because sometimes the music can feel a little disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? And if that's happening, then it's fine. So someone's always going to enjoy music because music doesn't need us in any way like that. It's going to do what it does, no matter who's playing it or where you're coming from. Someone's going to get something from it. But yeah, to maintain that sort of, and besides education, because education should give you to history and to the development of this music and to what made it what it was at certain periods of time. That's very important. But marry that with truth when you're going to play, and then I think you can find some truth. Some power will be in that.
about your drummer influences. And the first one, I was blessed to see his 80th birthday performance last fall, and all the drummers came out. Will Calhoun, Tane came out. Um, Jack DeJohnette, I believe, is a guy that he understands the nuances of every musician that he's played with. And I say that because I think he's really the glue that kind of held the Jack. Jack is the one that held Keith Jarrett's trio together for so long. He's been integral to a lot of great ensembles. What is it about him, that his style, that you picked up on, that you incorporated in how you play?
Man, it's his flow. Like, I mean, his technique is astounding. You know, like I don't understand what's natural to do. He does that, and then the stuff that's not natural to do. It's like, why would you ever even think to put that combination together in that way, routinely? Like, it's like not a thing that he's doing. That's just the way he plays all the time. But it was that sort of musicality. Like, it's super musical, very melodic, you know, when he's playing, like not in a rush. You know, he just and his swings the hard. It's like he's from Tony, and then you hear some, you hear like a lot of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just that technique that he has. Like, even when he plays, you can just see it. Like, he doesn't jerk. He just does this. You know, he just flows. His movement is like martial arts. You know, when he's playing. And so and just that whole, you know, musical sensibility is what it is about Jack. That really, like, the way he's like this. He's like water. You know what I mean? And while he's doing this, he's playing melody and rhythms that are just like, you know, I mean, he's in the music and out of the music, and that probably comes from his piano. He's inside the music and out of it, on top of it, and all around it. Like when he's playing with Keith, you know what I mean? Like, Keith is playing his thing, and Jack, you know, just rhythmically will just alter a feel just a little bit to match that thing that Keith is doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Keith might be more flowy, then Jack will get more flowy. You know what I mean? It's just like that kind of stuff that he does. You know, that's the thing that I try to do. That I get pretty much everything. I can't do it. You know what I mean? But I try to get like that whole thing where it's just like, oh, you know, I want to do this thing where I'm doing this, and you want to do, and then the foot, and I don't want you to hear the foot. I just want to go. You know what I mean? It's like Jack. You know what I mean? It would be like Jack. I would be like Jack. But yes, it's just his fluidity, man. His balance with everything. It's so much that he's doing, and that's his technique. The music is just a whole different thing with Jack. I mean, he, you know, solo concerts on the drums. You know, and you're not bored. You know, a drum concert after 3 minutes of the drum solo, most people are like, enough already. You know what I mean? You play 40 minutes on the kit, and you not even realize that it's happening. You know, in a concert. That's what I'm talking about.
You remember the first time you saw him live?
Yep. First time I saw him live was Michael Brecker.
Oh my God!
And that nothing personal thing.
Woo!
Like, why are you? That I didn't even know what to think about it. That literally froze me. Like, I just couldn't think how, you know, what is he even doing? Like, what are you even thinking?
I totally forgot he is on those first two solo Michael Brecker records.
Yeah.
That first record, it was Pat Metheny, Jack DeJohnette, Charlie Hayden on bass, and Jack killed those drums. That's why that record is so good. Yeah. In addition to Michael being, and I'm not saying it because he's one of my favorite saxophonists, but God dog, that first album is remarkable.
I mean, all those, that's like an amazing band of people right there, and they play so unselfishly. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
That changed a lot of stuff.
The next one is, he's kind of a different architect of percussion and drums. I want to talk about Max Roach. What was it about Max what did he bring to jazz music? What did he bring to the music?
I mean, he brought, besides political, social awareness, you know what I mean, and the voice to that. You know, you could sort of feel, that sort of theory or that sort of plight in his music, in his playing. It was rhythmic. He was like, I would say, just a very rhythmic African playing drummer. You know what I mean? Like, if you almost felt like you were listening to African hand drums when Max played. You know what I mean? He had his speed thing, but for me, the thing that stuck out most was the feel of it. His swing was almost rhythmic feeling. I felt like you were listening to a hand drum when he would swing. You know what I mean? For me, and just like I said, you could feel like his message in his drum. You could feel that in his life. So, yeah.
My last one is Elvin Jones. I'm curious. Every percussionist or drummer has a different take on what he means to them. But he's electrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I love Jack. Jack's number one. He's Jack twice. You know what I mean? Like, it just, and Elvin changed everything. Everything about the drums, that whole triplet feel, that whole, when it was loose and it was wide and it was fat and it was swinging, you know what I mean? And delicate at the same time. It could be fiery and it could be delicate. And it was like, man, just everything about Elvin. Elvin and Jack, those are my two favorite. Elvin, Jack, Tony, Blakey. That's the newer cats, Tame, Blade. But yeah, with Elvin, man, just everything that he brought to the music was so earthy and full and real and deep. You know what I'm saying? When he would swing, so. And just that feel, you know what I mean? Just that whole, just the way he incorporated it, using all of those triplets and between the bass and the tom and the snare, and it would come out of it, so I thought he played, because I never saw him live, but I thought, he was killing. But then I talked to one of my friends who saw him. He was a musician too, Leslie Drake, and he was just like, I sat right next to Elvin on the gig. He was like, it wasn't loud at all. It just feels like that because of the way he was shaping it. He could get that way. He was like, but man, there was so much power coming in. The cat was playing half as loud as we think. And he was like, but the power coming from the drums was just from his expression, and just from that open sort of triplet feel that he would give him, that swing that he would. He didn't even have to finish the swing, he didn't have to go ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. He would go king-king, king-king, he was like, it's just everything that he did, It was like, yeah, Elvis he's my also top.
Rudy, you've been playing for a while. Do you think Black American music, jazz, is in good hands? Do you think that there's some great drummers and percussionists that are bringing their voice to the music forward?
I think so. I mean, I've played with some of the cats. Emmanuel, there's some of the younger cats. Yeah, I think it's in good hands. I think some of these, but there's a different time. You know what I mean? So there are different sensibilities that are in the music because it has to be. They're not the same. They're not living in the same time as I was. I'm not living at the same time as cats before me. So, but as far as the genuineness of the music, like I was saying earlier, I think there are definitely younger musicians out there who have that. There's some who I think don't. But I think there are definitely, we have some who are really playing the music and loving it and caring about it and learning the history of it and know where they're coming from, know where it wants to go. So, yeah, I think so. There's some cats out there, but it's, at some points I have to remember though, that it's not the same as what I was
Right.
It's not, but it's still what they're playing is just as powerful and will carry the music forward. I think. Or say carry the music forward. I don't think you can really go much more forward than like Elvin. You know what I mean? But they'll continue this music, this presence in the hearts and the minds of in the world. I think so.
Rudy Royston, what does Black American music mean to you?
Well, I mean, besides a sense of identity, I think for me, Black American music is American music. It's true American music. One of the true American musics. Delta blues is another true American music. You know what I mean? It's one of the true forms of American music that, for me, represents. Really, that's the best that the country that we could be as a people is in this music. Like jazz music has never been discriminatory. It's always been something that serves others. It serves all. It's always been something that's represented the best of humanity. It's represented overcoming. It's represented triumph. It's represented, love. It's represented, whatever you're going through, the blues, sadness, humanity. It's always been a music that I'm very proud to say, that my ancestors were the root of, the creation of this music. So For me, it's unity, it's humanity, it's love, and it's the best. That's making America great.
That's it. I like that. I like that. That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the Jazz Gallery here in New York City. Whenever you're in New York City, please support Rio and her staff here at the Jazz Gallery. For more information on upcoming show times, as well as directions, visit them online at jazzgallery.org. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Rudy Royston for his time. Make sure you support his brand new album Day, which is now available on iTunes and Amazon.com. Also, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.